The orbital defense station Helios hung silent against Earth's atmosphere, its sensors scanning the endless void of space. Commander Sarah Chen stood at her post, dark eyes fixed on the holographic displays that surrounded her. 20 years of service hadn't prepared her for what those screens now showed. An object decelerating from faster-than-light travel, its mass suggesting something larger than any human vessel ever constructed. Contact bearing 035, range 400,000 kilometers in closing, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his voice steady despite the tension that filled the command center. Configuration unknown. No match in database. Sarah's fingers drummed against the console. First contact protocols had been drilled into every member of Earth's defense forces, but theory and reality were very different beasts. Alert control. Begin broadcast of the welcome message on all frequencies. Maintain defensive posture but do not paint the target with weapons. The massive object continued its approach, now close enough for optical sensors to resolve its shape. It resembled a crystalline lotus, translucent panels arranged in overlapping layers that seemed to ripple with internal light. Beautiful, but Sarah hadn't survived this long by trusting in beauty. Commander, Rodriguez called out. They're responding. Receiving transmission. They're speaking English. The voice that filled the command center was deep, resonant, and utterly inhuman. Greetings, children of Earth. We are the archivists. We come seeking knowledge. Sarah straightened her uniform. This is Commander Chen of Earth Defense Station Helios. Welcome to our system. Please maintain your current distance while we establish diplomatic protocols. Understood, Commander. The alien voice carried an odd undertone, like wind through crystal. We have studied your broadcasts. Fascinating. Such variety in your development. Such potential. Something in that last word made Sarah's skin crawl. She'd heard that tone before, from anthropologists discussing primitive cultures. We look forward to cultural exchange, but safety protocols must be. Safety. The alien voice changed, becoming sharper. Yes, we observed your safety protocols. Observed how quickly you developed weapons, how eagerly you reach for them. Even now, your secondary defense platforms adjust their positions. Sarah cursed internally. The automated systems were indeed shifting, responding to threat assessment algorithms. Standard procedure only. We mean no. We have seen this before, Commander. Species that develop too quickly, that grasp technology before wisdom. It never ends well. The alien vessel's panels began to glow brighter. We are the archivists. We preserve knowledge, and sometimes preservation requires pruning. Warning alerts blazed across Sarah's screens. The alien ship was powering up something massive, its energy signature off the charts. But unlike the aliens, humanity hadn't spent its time merely observing. Ghost protocol initiated, Sarah commanded, her voice iron. Authorization, Chen, Alpha 79. Rodriguez's fingers flew across his console. Ghost protocol engaged, Commander. They won't see this coming. The alien vessel's panels flared with building energy. Your species needs time to mature. We will provide that time. A century of isolation shoaled. Interesting theory, Sarah interrupted, allowing herself a small smile. But you might want to check your sensors again. The alien voice faltered. What? Impossible. Where did they? Suddenly, the space around the archivist vessel flickered as dozens of human ships dropped their stealth fields. They had been there the whole time, hidden by technology that humanity had developed in secret, preparing for exactly this kind of encounter. You're not the first advanced species to look down on us, Sarah declared, but you might be the last to make that mistake. This is humanity's formal response to your pruning suggestion. No. The human fleet opened fire, not with primitive projectiles or predictable energy weapons, but with devices that turned the archivist's own technology against them. Their crystalline hull began to resonate at frequencies that threatened to shatter it. Stop. The alien voice held genuine fear now. How did you? This technology shouldn't be possible for your level of development. That's the problem with watching from a distance, Sarah replied. You see what you expect to see. Humanity learned long ago to keep our best tricks hidden. Now shall we discuss cultural exchange again? As equals this time. The alien vessel powered down its weapons. For several tense moments, silence filled the void. Then, perhaps we have more to learn from you than we realized, children of Earth. Sarah's smile grew slightly. First lesson, we're not children. Second lesson, let's talk about what else we've been keeping in reserve, just in case you have any more preservation ideas. The encounter that followed would reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity. The species that had been dismissed as primitive upstarts had revealed themselves to be master strategists, capable of implementing deceptions on a cosmic scale. The archivists had come to teach, but instead found themselves learning a crucial lesson. Never underestimate humanity's capacity for innovation or its determination to survive. As diplomatic channels opened and true cultural exchange began, Sarah kept the Ghost Protocol active. Trust was good, she believed, but humanity had earned its place among the stars through preparation and strength. The galaxy would learn to respect that, one way or another. 6 months after first contact, the Helios station had transformed into Earth's primary diplomatic hub. Meeting rooms that once held military briefings now hosted representatives from a dozen alien species, all drawn by humanity's stunning revelation of their Ghost Protocol technology. Admiral James Harper strode through the station's corridors, his weathered face reflecting decades of service that had led to this moment. Beside him walked HFY, the archivist ambassador, whose crystalline form shifted colors with each movement. A display that humans had learned indicated deep thought. You must understand our concern. HFY's harmonics resonated. The Ghost Protocol represents a level of technological achievement that should have been impossible. Our records show no precedent for a species developing such capabilities in isolation. Harper stopped at a viewport, gazing at Earth below. That's because you are still thinking like archivists, looking for patterns, precedents, orderly progression. Humanity doesn't work that way. Explain, HFY requested, crystalline form pulsing with curiosity. 20 years ago, we detected your observation platforms at the edge of our solar system, Harper revealed, watching the ambassador's colors shift to shock. Yes, we knew you were watching. We also intercepted fragments of your transmissions, enough to understand that we were being evaluated, and that the evaluation might not go in our favor. The Admiral's reflection in the viewport smiled grimly. So we did what humanity does best. We adapted. Every public advancement we made was carefully calculated to appear less sophisticated than reality. Meanwhile, our best minds worked in secret, combining theoretical physics with desperate innovation. But the resources required, HFY began, were hidden in plain sight, Harper finished. Those primitive fusion plants we were building. Their power output was deliberately understated. The failed quantum experiments, actually successes, disguised as setbacks. We created a technological Potemkin village on a solar system scale. The ambassador's crystalline form darkened, a deception that could have led to war. A deception that prevented war, Harper corrected. We knew from your transmissions that advanced species often preserve younger ones through forced isolation or worse. We couldn't take that chance. Humanity has survived too much to accept being caged. He turned to face HFY directly. The Ghost Protocol isn't just technology. It's a philosophy. Always keep something in reserve. Always have a contingency. And never, ever show all your cards at once. And now, HFY asked, what cards remain hidden, Admiral? Harper's laugh echoed in the corridor. That's the beauty of it. You'll never know for sure. But I can tell you this. The Ghost Protocol you've seen. It's version 3. And it's not our newest defensive technology. The ambassador's colors swirled with concern. The Council will not be pleased with this revelation. The Council needs to understand something fundamental about humanity, Harper said, his voice taking on an edge of steel. We're not interested in dominance. We don't want to rule the galaxy or impose our will on others. But we will never again be in a position where another species can threaten our existence. He gestured to a passing group of human and alien technicians working together on station modifications. Look at what we've accomplished in 6 months of open cooperation. Imagine what we could achieve in years or decades, but that only works if we're treated as equals, not specimens to be studied or primitive beings to be contained. Kevlar was silent for a long moment, colors shifting through complex patterns. Your species continues to surprise us, Admiral. Perhaps that is precisely why some found you threatening. Change is uncomfortable for many of the elder races. Change is survival, Harper countered. The universe doesn't care about comfort. It cares about adaptation, about evolution, mental and technological as much as biological. Humanity learned that lesson through millennia of struggling against our own extinction. We're sharing that knowledge now, freely, with allies who respect us. The ambassador's form brightened slightly. And those who do not show respect. Harper's smile didn't reach his eyes. They get to wonder what else we're hiding. Speaking of which, would you like to see something interesting? Something that wasn't in any of our public development records. Kevlar's colors pulsed with mixture of anticipation and trepidation. Is this another demonstration of human ingenuity? Better, Harper replied, leading the way to a secure section of the station. It's a demonstration of human imagination. We've been working on something we call the Phantom Gate. Theoretically, it could revolutionize interstellar travel. Practically, well, let's just say even we're not entirely sure what it's capable of yet. As they walked, Harper reflected on humanity's journey. From watching the skies in fear to standing as equals among the stars, all because they had learned to turn paranoia into preparation and preparation into power. The Ghost Protocol had given humanity its seat at the galactic table. What they did with that seat would determine the future of both their species and their new allies. The real work was just beginning. The experimental vessel Phantom crossed the boundary of known space, its revolutionary drive leaving no trace of its passage. Captain Maya Patel stood on the bridge, watching as her crew monitored the first practical test of the Phantom Gate technology. They were making history and possibly finding something humanity never expected. Energy signature detected. First Officer David Walsh reported, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Sir, it matches pre-contact archivist patterns, but these readings are ancient. Maya leaned forward, studying the data. After 6 months of technological exchange with the archivists, she'd learned to read their energy patterns like a second language. These were different, older, rawer, more primitive. Location: binary system ahead. Second planet shows artificial structures, heavily degraded. Estimated age. David paused, double-checking his readings. At least 50,000 years. The bridge fell silent. Even the archivist's earliest records didn't go back that far. This was something else entirely. Take us in, Maya ordered. Full stealth protocols. Let's see what we're dealing with. The Phantom slipped through space like a ghost, its advanced stealth systems making it virtually undetectable. As they approached the planet, the crew got their first visual of the structures, and Maya felt her breath catch. Massive crystalline towers rose from the planet's surface, but these weren't the elegant constructions of modern archivists. These were jagged, almost organic, as if they had grown from the ground itself. Many were shattered, their broken forms telling a story of violent destruction. Life signs? Maya asked, though she already suspected the answer. Negative, David replied. But, Captain, I'm detecting active power signatures. After 50,000 years, something down there is still running. Maya straightened in her command chair. Senior staff to briefing room, and get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They need to see this. In the briefing room, Maya faced her core team. Chief Engineer Yuki Tanaka spoke first, her usual confidence tempered by concern. The power signatures are similar to archivist technology, but they're using principles we've never seen before. It's like looking at a primitive version of their tech that somehow achieved things they can't do today. Or won't do, Security Chief Marcus Jones added. Remember how the archivists reacted when we first showed them the Ghost Protocol? That mix of fear and recognition. Maybe they've seen something like this before. Maya nodded slowly. And maybe that's why they go around preserving species they think are developing too quickly. They're not just being paternalistic. They're afraid of history repeating itself. The room's holographic display activated, showing Admiral Harper's face. Captain Patel, your discovery may be more significant than you realize. The archivist ambassador just requested an emergency meeting. They're agitated. Sir, Maya asked, noting the concern in Harper's expression. The moment we transmitted your findings, Kethler's entire form went dark, something I'd never seen before. He said only one thing. The precursors have returned. Maya shared a look with her crew. Precursors. Apparently, the archivists weren't the first advanced species to try controlling the development of others, Harper explained. The precursors did it first, and they were far less gentle about it. According to Kethler, they didn't isolate developing species, they harvested them, took their best technology and minds, then eliminated the rest. What happened to them? David asked. They vanished. No one knows why. The archivists found their abandoned technology and used it to build their civilization, but they never understood all of it. Sound familiar? Maya thought of the Ghost Protocol, of humanity's rapid technological advancement. We're doing the same thing they did, aren't we? Finding advanced technology and adapting it in ways its creators never imagined. With one crucial difference, Harper said, we're sharing what we learn. The precursors hoarded knowledge. The archivists restricted it. Humanity is trying something new, open exchange, but with safeguards. Sir, Maya said, an idea forming. Request permission to continue investigation. If these ruins contain precursor technology, we need to understand it. Not to use it, but to make sure no one else can use it against us. Harper was quiet for a moment. Granted. But Captain, be careful. Kthlar said something else. What sleeps is not always dead. Whatever happened to the precursors, some of the archivists believe they didn't all vanish. Some might have just gone dormant, waiting. Waiting for what? Marcus asked. For someone to follow in their footsteps, Harper replied grimly. To prove themselves worthy successors, or to become their next harvest. Maya looked at her crew, seeing determination in their eyes. Humanity had fought too hard for its place among the stars to bow to ancient threats. If the precursors were still out there, they would learn what the archivists had. Underestimating humanity was a deadly mistake. Understood, sir, she said. We'll proceed with caution. But we're going to solve this mystery, for all our sakes. The Phantom hung in orbit above the ancient ruins, its stealth systems active, as the crew prepared for their next move. Whatever secrets lay below, whatever dangers lurked in the shadows of history, humanity would face them head-on. It was what they did best. And somewhere in the void, something ancient stirred, awakening to find its children had grown up in unexpected ways. The Helios station's central chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from Earth's major powers stood shoulder to shoulder with archivist crystalline forms and delegates from a dozen other species. At the center of the chamber, Captain Maya Patel's hologram towered above them, displaying the data from the Phantom's discovery. The ruins aren't dead. Maya's voice echoed through the chamber. They're transforming. In the 3 days since our initial discovery, we've recorded significant changes in the power signatures. Something is rebuilding itself down there. Admiral Harper stepped forward, his weathered face grave. Ambassador Kethlar, you've seen the data. What are we dealing with? The archivist's crystalline form pulsed with dark colors. The precursors built their technology to be resilient, self-repairing, self-evolving. We thought we had contained all their remaining sites, but this one, Keflar's harmonics trembled. This one bears signs of being a nexus point. Define nexus point, Harper demanded. A control center, Keflar explained. The precursors linked their technologies across vast distances. If one nexus awakens, it can activate others. We know of 3 such sites. All were believed destroyed. Maya's hologram shifted, showing new readings. The energy patterns are forming a coherent network. Whatever this is, it's reaching out across space. We've detected responses from at least 5 different locations, all far beyond known territory. The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. Harper raised his hand for silence. The question is, what do we do about it? We destroy it, one of the alien delegates declared, before it fully awakens. That may no longer be possible, Keflar responded. The precursor technology has already integrated too deeply with the planet's core. Any attempt at destruction could trigger a cascade that would affect all connected sites. Maya's hologram smiled grimly. There might be another way. Chief Engineer Tanaka has been analyzing the energy patterns. The precursor technology. It's not that different from principles we used in developing the Ghost Protocol. Harper's eyes narrowed. Explain. The precursors didn't just hide their technology. They shifted it partially out of normal space-time. That's why it could lie dormant for so long. But the Ghost Protocol works on similar principles. We might be able to adapt it, use it to communicate with the system. Impossible, another alien delegate interrupted. The precursor systems reject all attempts at interface. By species using precursor-derived technology, yes, Maya countered. But the Ghost Protocol is something new, something they've never encountered. And we got something else they never expected. Willing cooperation between multiple species. Flar's form brightened slightly. You propose combining our understanding of precursor technology with your Ghost Protocol innovations, along with any insights other species can offer. Maya nodded. The precursors believed in dominance through isolation. Let's show their technology what we can achieve through collaboration. Harper turned to the assembled delegates. The choice is yours. We can try to destroy the sites and risk catastrophic failure, or we can work together on Captain Patel's plan. Either way, we need to decide quickly. One by one, the delegates voiced their support. Even those species that had been hesitant to share technology recognized the greater threat. Within hours, the Phantom's crew was joined by the finest minds from a dozen worlds. The installation of the modified Ghost Protocol equipment began immediately. On the planet's surface, the ancient structures continued their transformation, but now they were watched by a united front of species determined to prevent another age of precursor dominance. Interface initialization in 5 minutes, Yuki announced, her fingers dancing across controls that now incorporated elements from 3 different species' technology. Around her, alien scientists monitored their own instruments, all working in harmony. Maya stood at the center of it all, watching as humanity's greatest gamble yet unfolded. They were about to attempt communication with technology that had terrorized the galaxy before Earth's first civilizations rose. The risk was enormous, but the alternative was worse. Whatever happens, Keflar said, now stationed aboard the Phantom, your species has already achieved something the precursors never could. You've united us. Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the countdown. Let's hope it's enough. Because if this works, we're not just preventing a disaster. We're rewriting the rules of galactic civilization. No more hidden technology. No more artificial restrictions on development. Just open cooperation, with safeguards we all agree on. And if the precursors themselves still exist, Keflar asked, then they'll find a very different galaxy than the one they left. One that learned from their mistakes instead of repeating them. The countdown reached 0. The modified Ghost Protocol activated, reaching out to touch technology older than human civilization. On dozens of worlds, alien scientists held their breath, waiting to see if humanity's desperate gamble would pay off. The ancient ruins began to pulse with new light, Not the harsh glare of precursor technology, but a softer, harmonious glow that spoke of transformation rather than domination. The future was about to change, and humanity had helped light the way. The Phantom's bridge crackled with energy as ancient and modern technologies merged. Captain Maya Patel watched as streams of data flowed through the modified Ghost Protocol interface, telling a story 50,000 years in the making. Translation Matrix Online, Yuki announced, her voice tight with concentration. The precursor systems are talking to us. On screens throughout the ship, symbols and images began to form. Keflar's crystalline form pulsed with recognition. These are their records, their history. Not just history, Maya said, studying the patterns. They're showing us their mistakes. Look at this timeline. The precursors didn't start as conquerors. They were explorers, like us. The data showed the rise of a civilization that had reached for the stars with hope and curiosity. But fear had corrupted them. Fear of being surpassed, of losing control, of becoming obsolete. Each generation had tightened their grip on younger species, until control became culling, and culling became harvesting. There, David pointed to a new data stream. That's why they vanished. They didn't die out or go dormant. They quarantined themselves. The final records showed a faction of precursors, horrified by what their species had become, using their most advanced technology to seal themselves away. The nexus points weren't meant to reactivate their empire. They were warning beacons, set to awaken when another species reached a similar crossroads. Admiral Harper's voice came through the comm. Captain, we're receiving similar reports from all known sites. The precursor technology isn't trying to take control. It's offering a choice. Maya understood. We can learn from their knowledge, or we can repeat their mistakes. She turned to Keflar. Your people found their technology and chose isolation, controlled development, a gentler version of the precursor path. And your people, Keflar responded, colors shifting thoughtfully, shows innovation and cooperation. Perhaps that is why the nexus points awaken now. They recognized a pattern break in the cycle. The ship's AI analyzed another data burst. Captain, the systems are offering full access to their databases. But there's a condition. Of course there is. Maya smiled. Let me guess. We have to share it. Not just share it. Keflar interpreted the symbols. We must ensure it can never be hoarded or used for control. The knowledge must flow freely, with safeguards against abuse. Harper's hologram nodded. Like the Ghost Protocol. We kept it secret until we needed it, then shared it openly once we had guarantees of equal treatment. Maya faced the assembled crew and alien scientists. So that's the legacy the precursors want to leave. Not dominance, but a warning about its price. And a chance to do better. Over the next hours, the combined fleet received the full database transfer. It was more than technology. It was the accumulated wisdom of a species' rise and fall, offered freely to those who had proven they could learn from it. There's something else, Yuki called out, examining a final data packet. Coordinates, thousands of them, leading into unexplored space. The quarantine zones, Keflar realized, where the reformed precursors sealed themselves away. They're inviting contact. Maya shared a look with Harper's hologram. The Admiral smiled. Well, Captain, it seems your first contact experience might come in handy again. How would you like to command the first joint species expedition into precursor space? On one condition, Maya replied. We do this right. No secrets, no hidden agendas. Every species that wants to participate gets an equal voice. Agreed, Harper said. The Ghost Protocol proved we could hide our advancements. This mission will prove we don't need to anymore. As the Phantom prepared for its historic mission, Maya watched her human and alien crew working seamlessly together. The precursors had tried to prevent change through control and nearly destroyed themselves in the process. Humanity had chosen a different path. Embracing change, sharing innovation, and building trust. Ready to make history again, she asked her crew. The responses came in a dozen languages, but they all meant the same thing. Yes, the Phantom's new drive engaged, incorporating principles both ancient and modern. As they accelerated toward unexplored space, Maya reflected that the true Ghost Protocol had never been about hiding technology. It had been about preserving humanity's greatest strength, the ability to learn, adapt, and grow beyond their limitations. The stars beckoned, not with the false promise of dominance, but with the true potential of cooperation. Humanity had helped forge that path, and now they would help lead the way forward. The legacy of the precursors would not be a warning of power misused, but a testament to lessons learned. And in the vast darkness between the stars, ancient eyes watched with approval as their children finally found their way home.